Hi everyone, welcome to the Encrypted Angels channel, where we are a dissociative identity disorder system, and here we do our best to debunk the stigmas surrounding dissociative identity disorder as best as we can by sharing with you our experiences of what it's been like for us as a system. And today, this is Star out right now, and today I am going to be talking about myself a bit, introducing you guys to who I am. But with that, also talking about integration or fusion, if you will. So either way, whichever word you prefer to use. And all right, so I will see you guys back in a minute, and I look forward to sharing with you my thoughts and who I am. Hey everybody, so welcome back. As I said, today I'm going to be talking about who I am as Star and our system. My kitty cat is here with me. It's I don't know if you can see her right there. Well, now she's behind me. But apparently she's got some things to say too today. So you might be hearing her meow in the background. Also, if you hear the storm outside, I apologize. It is very rainy here. Sorry, a little distracted from me. All right, so hi everybody. My name is Star, and so not only am I going to be talking about who I am, but part of what makes up who I am involves talking about integration or fusion, if you prefer that term. Either way, but I usually use the word integration. I guess I'm old school. I was diagnosed back in the 90s, and integration was just the word that me and mine are used to using. So really, that's just the word that we're used to using. Although I'll use both words interchangeably, but to me, they mean the same thing. I know to some other people, they have slightly different meanings or concepts regarding DID, but to me, old school, what can I say? They mean the same thing, integration or fusion. So, who am I? My name, well, I already said my name. My name's Star. And I'm a combination of many different people in our system integrated together. So, let's get started with that. First, I know we've done a couple of videos before, but maybe this is your first time watching. By the way, before I go any further, if this is your first time coming to our channel, welcome. And I'd like to encourage you, if you haven't already, please subscribe below and turn on your notifications. That way you will know when we put out new videos. We are doing our best right now after our little break from social media. We are doing our best to try to put out videos every single week on Fridays. So that is what we're aiming to do, is to put out a video by Friday, hopefully by 10 p.m., at evening, EST, Eastern Time. So hopefully by 10 p.m. EST, then we will be posting videos. All right, so on with it, integration. So, okay, so in the past, this involves a bit of a history of who our hosts have been in the past. Kashina was our first host that we know of. She only has memories going back from age 8, and they start getting fuzzy between 17 and 19. Somewhere in there, they start getting really fuzzy for her. And around 17, 18 years old is when she was done being host in our system. Although we didn't know that that's what was happening at that time. Looking back, now we have the ability to share like what was happening back then, even though we didn't understand it back then. Anyway, so we were switching hosts. So by age 20, Diva, she always spelled her name D-E-V-A. She became our host at age 20, and she was our host for a very long time. It's kind of fuzzy exactly when she went into a coma. It's some people in our system think it was when we were 38, 39. Other people are thinking when it was 40. Diva is part of what makes up who I am, and I'm not even sure. But somewhere, I think it was about 40 years old is when I went into a coma. So well, that was Diva. So Kashina was host from age 8 to about 17 to 18. Then Diva was host from about age 20 to 40. And then after that, we had 2 fragments that split that tried to become host. There was Cadence. First there was Cadence. She tried to become host, and that didn't end up working. She ended up integrating back into the system, well, back into Diva specifically. And then there was Kinsey. So Kinsey was a host for a little bit, and then Kinsey ended up integrating as well back into Diva. So after each of them were only host for about a year, maybe year and a half, something like that. So less than 2 years. And then after that, Dax ended up becoming our host. So for the last, like, it's been about 5 years now that Dax has more or less been our host. And so, so Diva went into a coma at age 40 when Cadence and Kinsey both mixed in with her or integrated into her. She still stayed into a coma for a while afterwards. About this last January is when Echo woke up and started becoming more active in our system on a more regular basis, but just internally, not externally. So although she's done a couple videos, as you guys know, she did what does a DID wardrobe closet look like and some other videos. And she's also part of a collaboration we're working on. She already recorded her part, so I feel like I already did my part. But anyway, so there was one day where in the last couple of weeks, like maybe 2-3 weeks ago, so this is really recent, that Echo was playing Sims on this game that we like to play. So we were playing Sims, and while we were doing so, Kashina came up to the front. Kashina's been a little bit more interested in the front more recently over the last couple of months. But this time when she came up to the front, just being curious on what was happening, and she was a little bit curious on what Sims was, when she came up to the front and started co-running with Echo, a automatic fusion just like spontaneous integration fusion, just boom, combined, and it happened. It happened suddenly. It happened unexpectedly. It wasn't anything anybody was looking to do, or like it wasn't on purpose. It just happened, like just suddenly happened. So I don't know if this has ever happened to another multiple out there, like when one person is running the front and another person comes up to co-run, and then a spontaneous integration or fusion, whichever word you prefer, happens. If you have, please let me know below, because I would love to know about that. So please leave your comments below. We've never heard of that. That's never happened to us before. There's many people in our system that have co-run together. So yeah, our numbers are dwindling down. That's also a reason why sometimes you might hear us say there's like 20 to 25 of us, but some people will say there's 25 to 30 of us. I think it's just safe to say the number's somewhere between 20 to 30 people, and it still is, I'm pretty sure. We haven't taken a true head count in a while. Maybe we'll do that soon and give you guys a more thorough update of exactly how many people is in our system at this time. But we still think it's pretty upwards in it's pretty in the 20s, like I'm sure of it. So that is who I am as Star. I am a integration of Diva, Cadence, Kinsey, and Kashina. A lot of K names, I know, that's weird. So yeah, that is who I am. Now, some thoughts that I wanted to share with you guys about integration or fusion in general. We weren't always okay with this, and it's totally fine if you as a system is not okay with any kind of concept of the idea happening with your system. There was, back in the 90s when we originally was starting therapy, and even in the early 2000s, therapists at that time, they would stuff integration down your throat. Like, this is the only way for you to be healthy, is to make your cells be one person. And we just did not feel that was right for us. Like, we knew that's what the therapists were recommending, but we didn't feel that that was healthy or okay for us. A lot of us in the system looked at it like death. That's how we viewed it. We saw it as death. And so we made a pact a long time ago that nobody in our system will have to go anywhere that doesn't want to. You know, so if you don't want to integrate ever, then that's okay. And if some people in our system do want to integrate, that's okay too. Finding another person in the system to do so with is another matter. So we've had integrations happen. So let me go back. So once upon a time, a long time ago, like 15 years ago, we were dead set against anything of the sort. If we walked into the therapist's office and the I word even came out of that therapist's mouth, we ran. We were like, nope, we're done, out, done. That was not okay with us. So it was, I remember having many of us having very powerful reactions to the whole concept or idea of integration or fusion. It just wasn't okay by the majority of us in the system. And I would still say that to this day, majority of us in the system don't want that. Like Ash doesn't want to ever integrate. Andy doesn't want to ever integrate. Dax and his twin brother Dex, they don't ever want to integrate with anybody. So they don't always want to integrate. Even though Kashina is a part of me, the Kashina part of me was very confused on the inside, and I don't really want to go into a whole lot of detail about that. But I was very confused about where I was and what was going on as Kashina on the inside. And I do feel a lot better as Kashina being mixed in with who was Echo before I mixed in with her. And then after I mixed in with her, yeah, we feel like a different person. Like none of us feel like, we all feel each other there. We all feel those parts, those things, the likes, the dislikes, the things that we want to do, the passions that we have, the people that we love, those that we care about. So we have all of those things with all of us combined together. Like I have Kashina's likes and dislikes, I have Diva's likes and dislikes, I have Keaton's likes and dislikes, and Kinsey's, and so I can say as Kashina, I feel a lot better being in this mix. Even if I had the wherewithal when I was just inside for the last almost 20 years, even if I did have the wherewithal of trying to answer a question to, would I ever consider fusion or integration, or is that something I'd want to do or interested in? I don't think I would have been completely against it, obviously. I don't think I would have been completely against it, but I don't think I would have actually sought it out either. So I don't think I would have made it a purpose or a goal. And that's another thing that we wanted to mention. There was one of the first dissociative specialists that we ever worked with, when we did talk to that therapist about integration and what to do and whatnot. And again, this was still back in the late 90s, early 2000s. And this was the first therapist that we saw that didn't, shove integration down our throats. And instead, she had a very different view, and we really liked that. We really jived with this therapist. She said that if it's totally fine if a system wants to integrate, that is totally fine. But she would say that she said I would look at it less as a goal and something that if it's meant to happen, it will happen effortlessly. It should happen as easy as breathing, and that it probably won't take place in a therapist office. And she was right. It's none of our integrations that we have experienced in our years through the last, 15, almost 20 years that we have been really working on ourselves. I just lost train of thought. All right. So I know I was talking about the therapist, that it's better to look at integration or fusion, if you will, as something that can happen. And if it does, it's it would happen effortlessly and as easy as breathing. And it probably wouldn't take place in a therapist office. And she was right about that. It didn't take place, and none of our integrations ever had. I think I already said all of that. I'm so sorry. All right, so how we feel about it now. There have been a lot of integrations that have, I say a lot because there was at one point that we discovered there was over 200 of us in our system at one point. That's a lot. There are systems out there that have even more, and that is their system. Like, I can't imagine what it's, I mean, I can because I did have that many, but a lot of those for us were fragments. They weren't fully formed, fully formed states of consciousness, like not like ashes and not like Daxes or Andy, or, you know, like they weren't fully, most of them were fragments. So if you know, if you're aware of DID and what DID is and fragments and stuff, maybe if people ask enough questions, what are fragments, then maybe I'll do another video. But I'm going to assume that the mass majority of people watching this video is going to know what a fragment is. So a lot of those were fragments, and we worked with we worked with a couple of therapists about it was in 2008, 2009. We worked with like 2 different therapists for a little while. One of them was dissociative specialist, and another one was a specialist with something else that we don't want to talk about. But anyway, so we were working with 2 therapists at the time, and it's through the work that we did with that therapist that was dissociative, well, with both of them ultimately, but specifically with the dissociative specialist, in our own time, in our own comfort. A lot of the fragments, they didn't want to continue existing in our system. A lot of them, they didn't want to integrate. So I say we have had a lot of integrations because like 200 people in our system have integrated, and that's kind of a lot. Most of them integrated in with one of my others. We call her Harley for short, but her full name is Harlequin. She's not named after the Joker, believe it or not. She is not. We used to really love porcelain dolls. Really, really love porcelain dolls, and especially Harlequin dolls. So like the Harlequin looking dolls, we loved them. And that's where she got her name from, because inside she looks very gothic, and she does her makeup much like a doll on the inside. She's tried it on the outside once or twice. It hasn't gone very well. But she has tried it once or twice on the outside. But anyway, on the inside, she does great, with making her makeup look more like one of those Harlequin dolls, like. But anyway, so there is that. And so she's the one who's absorbed most of those integrations. So of the 200 fragments that used to be in our system. All right. So there are our thoughts. At one point in time, we used to think of integration or fusion as death. Now we don't really think of it so final like that. But at the same time, there are still plenty of people in my system that are very uncomfortable with the whole concept or idea of ever integrating, while there are others in our system like Harlequin or Harley, that is okay with integration. And all right, well, I guess I will wrap it up here, guys. Yeah, especially since this is already 20 minutes long. Even though I'm known to do long videos, I'm really trying to cut them down. All right, if you have been watching this whole time, oh my gosh, thank you guys so much. You guys have been troopers. So that is me, that is Star, that is how we feel and think about the idea of integration or fusion at this point in time. And all right, we love you all. Please take care. I look forward to seeing you guys more in videos. Mwah! Bye-bye.